welcome to episode 74 of Real Voices of Happy Valley. In this episode, we're sitting outside by a lovely pond talking to Matt Taylor, woodland manager. So if you hear odd noises in it, that'll be the birds and work that was going on nearby.
Yes, bit of farm work, someone doing a roof nearby, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. And yes, it was a lovely chat, and Matt's a great guy. And one thing we saw after the recording was the grave of his good friend Roger Burnett. He is buried in the woodland, and local walk map maker, who we've talked to before, Chris Goddard, has marked out a walk which includes Roger's grave. Really lovely setting.
It was a lovely thing to do for his friend, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. With
the help of people from Natural Endings.
Yeah. So, enjoy.
Okay, let's have a listen. We are sitting in an idyllic spot, I think, near a pond with Matt Taylor. And we're going to find out what you do, overlooking Colden. Colden Basin, you just called it. That sounds really cool. So, it was suggested we come and talk to you because you plant trees, but I'm sure there's an awful lot more to what you do than planting trees, Matt.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I mean, planting trees is, in the simplest form, is quite an easy thing to do. But actually getting trees planted and sorting it all out, getting the permissions, can be a bit of a bureaucratic nightmare. So kind of for a long time I was a consultant, like a woodland and forestry consultant, so helping people navigate the bureaucracy of managing woodlands and trees and helping them make the right decisions for that wood. But then what I always really liked doing was digging holes and hitting things, getting dirty, that kind of stuff. So
this whole nation was built on people digging holes and hitting things.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a railway system if it wasn't, or a canal system.
It is actually, I think we've kind of drifted a bit from our core purpose. I think more people would feel better if they hit more stuff and dug more holes. Well, it certainly works for me anyway.
That's a great philosophy of life.
Yeah. So I do. I right now I create woodlands, and that's all I do at the moment. And I do a lot of planting of trees myself, and then looking after them, making sure they don't get attacked by cows or wind or diseases or drought and all these things, and then I go and replant them or straighten them up if they do. So
you've got some land here of your own that you've planted trees on.
Yeah.
What sort of trees?
So all this is native woodland around us. So planted it in 2011, and first of all it was kind of quite dominated by ash trees. But then in, I think it was early 2012 or late 2011, ash dieback blew across the sea from the mainland, from Scandinavia, and then pretty much all the ash died. I
didn't realise that.
Yeah, so out of maybe, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 ash that we planted on this site, there's maybe 5 left.
Oh wow!
So I came in and replaced those with different species. So it's a really mixed woodland. So almost, there's, I could list them, but there's a lot of different tree species, all natives.
But mixed woodland is good, isn't it? Isn't it? am I right? I mean, you're the man who knows.
Yeah, you're leading me down a path of judgment there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, mixed woodland's great. It's good for diversity. So it means if you get a disease like ash dieback, you don't end up with no woodland. So if I just planted ash trees, which would not be a mixed woodland, be a monoculture, I would have really been upset. So mixed woodland is generally good, but why are you planting a woodland? Are you doing it to make money, to grow timber, to improve biodiversity, to stop flooding? What do you want? Why do you want something that's pretty, autumn colour? All these different things. So and there's
if I had any land, that's what I'd want.
All of those things.
The diversity and sort of wildlife and what have you.
Yeah, it's nice. That's what I want as well. So.
But I mean, I frequently go up to Galloway in Scotland, and it's just acres and acres of the same type of fir tree.
Yeah.
Which is lovely, but it doesn't strike me as quite as interesting as some other bits of woodland.
No, I think so. I've worked in that kind of forestry as well a lot, and I'd kind of equate that more to a field of wheat.
Yeah,
it's just on a longer growth cycle, so it's not. I often think it's kind of you're comparing apples with oranges really when you talk about a native woodland with a Sitka spruce plantation, because the output, even though they're all trees, the actual output and intentions are completely different. And it's just a funny place that we've found ourselves in forestry, because we want the timber, we need the wood.
Yes.
We want to grow it here. If we don't do that, we offshore it somewhere else. And like when you look into Norway or even parts of Northern Europe and Central Europe, they've got enough woodland so they can just go in and thin it. Yeah. Whereas here we lost almost all of our woodland. So then when we went, oh, hang on a minute, we want a timber industry back, we didn't have woodlands that we could go in and thin and manage. It was like, go. Yeah. So we're kind of stuck in this cycle, a bit of a trap now of that. What they call.
So do you grow like fast growing trees that can be used for timber and then grow quickly again, or what? How does it work?
Yeah, so those conifer plantations up there are fast growing trees, and some of the plantations that I put in, I'll have an element of that in. But I kind of, because it's like quite well. So if I write a management plan for a woodland that's a big conifer plantation, then I write one that I would call in the business as restructuring it. So you take a homogeneous block, a uniform block, and you say, let's get this a bit more diverse. Let's get different ages, different species. So over in the next few cycles, it starts to get better. And then if I'm planting a woodland completely new and it wants that element of timber production in it, then I try and design it for a completely different kind of forestry. So like continuous cover forestry, where people can go in and just take out the trees they need, but it's always a forest. You don't get that clear fell restock cycle. So that's so I've got a few places where I planted trees this winter that are, I don't know, as big as a pencil at the moment, but will one day be continuous cover forestry for timber production. Right. Yeah, but also good for the red squirrels, you get the multiple benefits all the way through, because you can never clear cut it.
Yeah.
So, how do you make a living then? You are you a consultant for various organisations? Yeah. So people pay me to pick my brains really and get help navigating, because I guess it's a bit of because I've written hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of forestry plans. So that's like 20-year plans for the management of a woodland, which is a really nice thing to do. But most people, so if you imagine if you're a landowner with a bit of woodland and it needs a management plan that lasts 20 years, how many of those are you going to write in your life? So nobody really builds that skill base for their own land, so they kind of bring someone in to help them. And as much as anything, I just take out what's in their head and what they want, and then put it into the format that gets the approvals and does all the right consultation, and make sure they're not doing anything that is going to damage the values that woodland's already got. So, at heart, you're trying to give them what they want, and rather than telling them what they should have.
Definitely, yeah. But I think, but within the rails of of what I think is right and wrong. So if somebody asked me to come in and write a management plan for something that I thought was terrible and environmentally destructive, I'd just say, I don't think we can work together. See you later. So I'm not. So I kind of, quite often they'll say, oh, I want to do this, that, and the other, and I'll say, right, well, this is how you can get. This is the most you can get out of that in that direction, and this is the best way to do it. Yeah. So I guess, I don't really do much consultancy anymore, so I can be honest. And really, my client's never really the human; it's the trees, it's biodiversity and nature. Yeah. So I'm like, that woodland's going to get managed anyway. So if I can go in and steer that, then I can. But I'm quite good at making people feel like they've got what they want at the end of the day, I guess. Even though I've maybe got what I wanted.
That's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds good. But you either do or have worked for Calderdale Council?
Yes. Yeah. So
what have you done with them?
Well, I used to be a tenant on 100 hectares of their ancient woodlands, so I leased all of Colden Clough.
Yeah.
So I leased that for about 5 or 6 years. And while I had that, we did loads of work on the Himalayan balsam and created some extra deadwood, which is like a really valuable resource in woods. There's not enough of it. So
why is that? Explain that.
Why is it a valuable resource, or why is there not enough?
Deadwood a valuable resource?
So if you think about a natural ecosystem, a natural woodland ecosystem, then it'd have an awful lot of dead wood in it.
Or trees that have died, or
trees that have got some dead wood in them that hasn't been managed.
Yeah.
So that's been happening since the glacier retreated.
Yeah.
And there were invertebrates mainly and fungi that saw that and evolved to have that as their ecological niche.
Right.
So they went, that's what I need. And then basically a time came when, well, there was lots of deforestation. A lot of the oldest trees were taken out, and then there's all like probably when I was in my younger days, people thought it was a good idea to tidy up the woods. Thought a messy wood was a badly managed wood kind of thing.
Yeah.
So essentially, if you tidy up the woods, people thought that meant taking the dead wood out, felling all the dead trees, get rid of it, burn it, take that for your firewood, whatever. So the woodlands gradually got denuded of their natural dead wood. And that has had catastrophic impacts on woodland biodiversity, invertebrates, birds, all that kind of thing.
Right.
Bats. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I've been putting that back.
Yeah. When you hear the term dead, you assume dead, but actually there's a lot of living stuff in the dead wood.
Yeah. It all keeps living, even when we cark it. We feed somewhere else, don't we? Probably.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I used to teach a sustainability module at university, and I used to start off by saying, "What is waste?" Yeah, people come up with all kinds of things, and then they say, waste is a word invented by people, because in nature there isn't any.
Yeah.
That I'm aware of. I haven't come across anything that gets wasted.
No, that's
in
right.
nature.
I think gardeners get a similar question then, don't they? Like, what's a weed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a weed? Is that a weed? Is that a weed? Well, it depends whether you want it there or not.
Yeah.
If you like it, it's not. If you don't, it is.
It's a wild flower if you like it.
Yeah.
But what about this doesn't apply here, I know, but does it teach us anything? Like in Australia, when they have those massive bushfires and everything's just razed to the ground, and they reckon it's good for the wildlife and the woods because it starts new growth. Is there anything in that? It just seems a bit odd to me.
Well, I think basically fires can be a useful tool in land management, and there's certain ecosystems, probably in Australia and definitely in America, where fire's been used as a tool for land management for millennia by indigenous peoples. And again, it's a bit like the explanation of why deadwood's important. So because that's been going on and persisting for a long time, then the ecosystem evolves with that.
Right.
But what happens if you get a woodland that's not used to having fires in it, and it's not a woodland that's like, so the images that you see in Australia aren't controlled burns by indigenous people, they're wildfires as a result of climate change. Yeah. So what you've got is loads of burnt koalas, damaged ecosystems, loss of carbon. It's not controlled, it's not part of a ongoing natural cycle, it's a catastrophe.
Right. And it certainly wouldn't be here, would it? Whenever you hear of, fire on the moors or something,
that's right.
It's catastrophic.
It is, yeah. So the burning of the moors not part of the natural peat building process. It should be sphagnum with a really high water table all year round. So you shouldn't be able to set fire to a bog, is the truth. It's only because it's been drained and it's covered in millennia grass that it can even burn at all, or heather.
Yeah.
So, but and again, it's like a product of, like maybe the last 100 years of mismanagement. So they talk, you'll hear like when there's the wildfires in America, they'll say it's the Forestry Service's fault for allowing the detritus to build up because they haven't been tidying up sufficiently.
Right.
But actually, that is probably more about, First Nations people being displaced and no longer allowed to practice their land management. processes which prevented catastrophic wildfires compounded by climate change.
Yes, because First Nations people had been managing the land for 10,000 years.
Totally, yeah. Yeah.
General success.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides Colden, have you worked in any other bits of Calderdale?
Yeah, so sort of think. So I did the management plan for Hardcastle Crags years back. I think that's rolled over now into the next one. So that was nice because it's on my doorstep. I managed Shelf, some woods at Shelf, Lumbutts, Clough, little woodland around the fishing pond.
Oh, it's really nice up there.
Yeah, that was full of balsams. That main work in there was getting the balsam out and a lot of litter picking because there'd been a long history of hoying stuff off the road, I think, down into the woods. So we cleared all that up, which was nice to do because it was just a little tiny bit of woodland.
It's nice when you can see a result straight away.
Yeah,
isn't it?
totally, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Hyroyd Wood, which is out above Sorby Bridge. So quite a few, yeah.
Oh, right. So the Himalayan balsam, I mean, every now and again there seems to be a sort of major, let's have a go at the Himalayan balsam. You know, when we lived near Salem, we spent ages with groups of people hacking away at it.
Yeah.
Is that sort of under control, or will it ever be under control?
I think it'd be a bit rash to say it was under control, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think it is. I mean, it's possible to get it under control. I don't know if they'll ever eradicate it or whether it'd evolve to get round you. I don't know. It's kind of, it's not under control, no. But I think. And I don't know if we'll ever beat it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Because almost like when you clear an area of balsam, or even just get some of it out, it means that the native plants and flora that are there can persist. But if you just give up on it, you end up with a monoculture like you were talking about before. And particularly in this valley, what happens then is you've got nothing. You've got a steep sided valley with nothing but balsam on it through the summer, and then it all dies in November. By November it's all gone because it's an annual plant, and then there's no roots to hold the soil together. Then we get our heavy flooding rain and we get a landslip.
Right.
Whereas if that bank was covered with grass or bluebells or wood rush or anything like that, they're all perennial plants. So even though it looks like they've died down for the winter, there's roots in the ground. So the water runs over and the roots hold it together. So that balsam's essentially destabilising all our cloughs.
Right.
And then once you've had that landslip, I mean, what's that? Years and years of moorhen.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. So then you've got
then
you've got years of millennia of geology, haven't you? Taken back if you have a massive landslip.
Yeah.
Because our soils build up very slowly here, don't they? So.
Yeah. So going off on a tangent then, there's a moorhen over there in the long grass.
In the reed maze.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you got other wildlife here. You must.
Yeah, so there's like a resident group of roe deer, badgers, sea badgers pottering through. Lots of voles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say it sounded like a woodpecker, but it's not.
No, it's a roofer. Close. So there's loads of wildlife, loads of willow warblers on this site. So buzzards are about. Red kite comes through occasionally.
And this pond, was it already here, or did you make it happen?
Put it in, yeah. Yeah, dug a big hole. That's all you have to do to get a pond round here.
Back to digging holes.
Yeah, that's it. It's amazing, the benefits.
How long's it been here? It looks like it's been here forever.
7 years maybe, this one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you used to have a little jetty out into it that you could perch on as well, but that got a bit rotten, so I had to pull it out.
Yeah. So the kids love it. You've got kids, have you?
I have, but they're 20 and 18, and they do love it.
Yeah.
But they don't. One's in Bournemouth at uni and they're doing her A-levels, so.
Oh, right.
But yeah, they do. Yeah, they helped me plant it when they were little and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Our kids are in their mid-40s now, so
Right.
I shouldn't use the term kids.
They still are your kids, though, aren't they?
But they've
Yeah.
given us grandchildren, so
There you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, serve their purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all open access, so people, all the neighbours' kids still enjoy it and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
that's good.
people
that's-
do what they want on it.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
and learn at the same time.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And are you from round here originally?
Close. You could probably throw a stone to it. I'm from Rosendale,
Ah,
so the
right.
next valley over, but different county. Dangerous.
We won't mention throwing stones then.
Have they forgiven you?
Why do you think I live in the middle of nowhere? Keep my head down usually.
Do you have any links with tree responsibility?
So Tree Responsibility planted some of the stuff down at the bottom when I did it. So I was good friends with Dongria.
Yes, sad.
Yeah. So as soon as I moved into the valley, I kind of
Yeah.
hooked up with Dongria and found out what they were doing, and so we got on very well. We made mischief now and again, so we were quite a good team.
That's good.
So
She was
yeah.
a good woman for mischief.
Oh yeah, she was a lot of fun. I like a bit of mischief.
Yeah.
Is the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay, that's great. So, well, thanks a lot, Matt.
yeah, nice to meet you.
Really
Thanks. It's
interesting
been lovely
chat.
to sit here and chat.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Thanks a lot. That's brilliant.
cool.